Hey guys, before we get started on another episode of the Fight Bananas podcast, let's thank one of our supporters, N Still Nutrition. Check them out, guys, at nstillnutrition.com or hit them up on the Instagram at nstillnutrition. Guys, use that joints as issue. I use it every single day. Nooks, crannies, trust me, you'll be happy. Guys, check out N Still Nutrition. Hello world, what's up guys? Once again, back again on the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing? Hopefully we're getting through it. It's fight night today. I love it. Another show on ESPN. I love how just Dana White and the UFC is cranking out shows. So hopefully, guys, it's on ESPN, ESPN Plus. It's free. Some people are not loving the card. It is what it is. For one, it's free MMA. It's sport. So you're welcome. And two, guys, there's just tons of nuggets. The card is stacked if you find it. My main man, Charles Rose, is on the card. Jordan Griffin, a future star, is on the card. Philly from the West Coast. Guys, the card is really good. There's not maybe, that one fight to bring you in, but I guarantee you, if you put it on, you won't be disappointed. All right. But hey guys, it's Dave and Auken. Hopefully you guys are still rolling with us. It's been a great week. Brandon Allen, Puna Soriano, little commercial guys. Monday morning, heavyweight top-ranked contender Curtis Blades is going bananas with us. He's main evented next week's UFC Fight Night. It's on UFC on ESPN 11. It's June 20th, and Curtis Blades is fighting Alexander Drago Volkov in the main event. Co-mains got Josh Emmett and Burroughs. That card's stacked, too. I'm looking at a lot of lady fights. We got our girl Raquel Pennington's on the card. Roxanne's on the card. Tisha Torres is on the card. Yeah, our girl Jillian the Savage Robertson, who made the fight announcements, on the card. Courtney Casey. So a really, really great card. But the main event, Curtis Blades, is coming on the show, so that's Monday. But today's today. I really wanted to kind of wrap off the week. This week was great for MMA fight announcements, and of course the Fight Island poster, video, however you want to describe it. It's out there. It's out there for the world. The MMA world and community went bananas. And it was just really cool to kind of see finally a video and some pictures and how there's a inside and an outside. There's literally going to be an octagon on the beach. Like, people still don't believe it, and they didn't want to believe it, but it's happening. It's here. We have a card. We have fighters. I just got an email about UFC media pass credentials about going out there to Dubai. But if you go out there, you got to go out there for 3 weeks. Like, there's no kind of going back and forth. If you're out there, you're out there. With me, with all the family, I think I'm going to have to pass. It would be an incredible trip, but, more incredible trips happen. Father first, and then MMA guy second, all right? So, but all the new fight announcements, I just kind of want to dive into a lot of them. Definitely talk about Fight Island. Of course, UFC 251, that's kind of the card of the summer. It's the kind of the international fight week card, usually Vegas, whole week, Hall of Fame, all that, but UFC 251's taking that place on Fight Island. So let's just kind of Blades and Volkov, that's coming up a week from tonight. And from today, we have Blades, and we'll have a couple other fighters going into next week, so I kind of don't want to go so far into that. The week after, June 27th, which not a lot of people are talking about, guys, that's Dustin the Diamond's return. Dustin Poirier is returning to the octagon. Dan Hooker, a vital lightweight matchup. That's an incredible fight. Co-main, Mike Perry, Mickey Gall. So just love it. Absolutely. Oh, our main man, Brandon Allen versus Ian Heinisch. So B. Allen's on that card, and also Luis Pena and Karma Worthy, who was just on our Fightcast. So love that card as well. That's June 27th. Love it, love it. And then we go. UFC 251, Fight Island is born. I'm not going to go through every single fight, just probably the main card. Paige Vanzant is back. Couple years ago, 3-4 years ago, when the female revolution was happening here at UFC, and Ronda, and then of course Manda and Cyborg, so many, Paige Vanzant was a humongous part of that. Her look, her style, she had a ton of grit, the whole breaking of the hand, and just like Paige Vanzant finally back in the octagon. I really hope that she and the UFC can mend bridges. talking about pay. There's a lot of pay out there in the media. I would love to see her fight 5 more times if that's what she wanted. If she wanted to become, a star, a movie star, she's got a great, relationship with Austin. And if they wanted to do a show on Bravo, cool. Dig it. I'm in. I'll watch it. I'll be a fan. But if she wanted to continue her run in MMA and become a UFC champ, I'm down with that too. I hope her and the UFC, if there is anything to men, they can do that. Right above that is Rose and Jessica 2. It's one of my favorite female fights that they can make. I'm happy they're doing the rematch. Anytime Rose fights, we're in. She's definitely always going bananas. How that fight stopped the first time, it was for the title. Rose looked like was doing a phenomenal job around round and a half, if I just remember off the top of my head, and then Rose with the body slam of doom. It was literally Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. The whole world shook. That was it. Rose got slammed, title changed hands, rest is history. So hopefully they're both healthy, they're both right, and that's on UFC 251 as well. I love it. Just both of the females are going to kick ass before the triple Decker main event. All 3 title fights, Jan and Aldo. I'm going to do a top 5 list next week about my fight announcements. What are my top 5 fight announcements? So we'll go into more detail in there as well. You can see that on the Fight Bananas YouTube channel. But guys, Jan and Aldo in the bantamweight division is just incredible. The bantamweight division is the hottest division in all of MMA right now. The Sugar Show, Sterling, what Cody did to come back. There's so many young studs in the bantamweight division. So this is just we need the main event. We need the title to be right. And then everything else will kind of fall in place. There's still Marlon Morales is out there. And then here's the elephant in the room on this fight. Aldo, I think, has been 2 fights in a row came out of. How about this could be the Sterling-Jan fight? Sterling needs to stay in shape. I heard Ray Longo mention that on the Anik and Florian podcast. We need Sterling to be right there. You never know. This could be a Jan versus Sterling bantamweight championship match. Sandhagen will be back. So the bantamweight division's stacked, and we just need this title match to make everything else right. You know what I mean? Co-main on that, it's been talked about for a while, and I think it was going to be in New Zealand before the whole corona pandemic happened, but we are going to get Volkanovski Holloway 2. That's in the co-main event. I love this fight too, guys. In the featherweight division, we got Max Holloway, who's no doubt the greatest featherweight fighter of all time. He's fighting the guy that just, smashed him for 5 rounds. Let's just be real about it. Dean Thomas came on our show the week of that fight, 6-8 months ago, and said, hey guys, Volkanovski's going to win by unanimous decision. And he nailed it. Dean Thomas isn't just the OG for a reason. So let's see if Holloway changes things up. Let's see how Volkanovski looks now. He's the champion. He's not the predator anymore. He's not the attacker. He is the champion now. He's the big fish. So let's see when the tides are turned a little bit. I'm so intrigued in that fight. Let's see if it's just Volkanovski has his number. My main man, the professor, John Radford, always says some fighters just have another, fighter's ticket. They can just punch it whenever they want. And then we close, guys, the main event of that card, UFC 251's the welterweight champion on the line. One of the hottest welterweights in UFC for over a year now. Gilbert Burns just keeps on winning fights and going to social media to say, I'm next, I'm ready. And he gets it, guys. Now it's Usman versus Burns in the welterweight division. I like the fight. I don't love it just because it just seems like there's so much other things going on with Masvidal. Everyone thought, we saw the poster already with Masvidal and Usman. Everyone kind of thought that fight was what's going to be. Leon Edwards. And then it's okay that this is the fight. For one, this is a really great fight in the welterweight division. But I just don't like it when it leaks that they offered this fight to Leon first. It's like, this is your third option. You're at the bar, you're having a good night with your boys, and then, you've been watching the blonde all night. You're watching the blonde, she's drinking, Grey Goose, and that's who you've been watching. But no, she she was drinking a little bit too much and she falls off early. Then it was the redhead. You're watching the redhead drinking brews all night. She was drinking IPAs, and man, it is what it is. She went with another guy, another dude. And it's like, oh, this other chick comes across. Oh, and she wants to go home with you. Okay, cool. It's like Leon, Masvidal, is it Colby again? Just so much other was going on. And this was just like, it feels like okay, cool. I'm happy. It's a welterweight title fight. Usman's on the card and Burns, they're great fighters, but it just seems something is lacking. All right, guys, this podcast is supported by Fusion CBD products. Check them out at fusioncbd.com or hit their Instagram page up, guys, at Fusion CBD products. Also, check them out at Fusion Coffee Beans. I drink the coffee in the morning and at night. Great stuff right there, Fusion CBD products. The water will be back in stock very, very soon, and definitely for Father's Day coming up, make sure you get your Fusion CBD products. All right, guys, so UFC 251, and then it's the whole week. So we got a couple fights on UFC Fight Night, July 15th, but nothing, major, nothing just jumping at us. And we'll see. I know Carla Esparza is on the card, so we'll go. But then we got, on the July 18th, we finally got the Flyweight Championship on the line. It was on the line before, and Diego didn't make weight, so let's see what happens there. But let me hit real quick on the co-main event, Jack Hermanson and Kelvin Gastelum. I love this fight. Great middleweight fight. A lot of implications. Who moves up, who moves down. The middleweight division's absolutely stacked. A lot of middleweight fights. I'm about to get into another one was made. Pretty soon we're going to see Izzy and Costa, and then we're just going to see all these other pieces fall into place. So this is a big fight. Winner moves on is probably one fight away, and then the loser is just so tough because you got so many guys, Kinnear, Brunson, Shabazian, Allen, Soriano, Heinisch. There's just so many guys behind him, so it gets really, really tough, really, really quick. So very vital fight. Then on the July 25th, this is one thing I definitely want to hit on. One of my favorite fights of the whole summer. I remember last year, 2019, guys, in the spring, Till and Masvidal was made. And people were like, cool. I'm like, no. This is the fight of the spring. I remember it was in overseas, so it was on during the day. It wasn't in Vegas. It wasn't a Saturday night. It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was the main event of a fight night. It kind of got overlooked or overshadowed, and good gracious. That fight, catapulted Masvidal, three-piece Minnesota, into huge fights. Askren, biggest fight of the year. Diaz, MSG, The Rock, BMF. And then Till can do the same thing. Everyone thinks Till is went away with those couple losses. Moved up in weight. Really weird, situation in New York about getting here and weight cuts and all of that nature. But made weight, defeated Gas, and now he's fighting Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, who's one of the best middleweights for the last 2-3 years, was winning against Izzy until he got caught. And there's nothing, Izzy's undefeated middleweight champ. So if Till can win this and win another, or just win this, and he might go straight to Izzy right afterwards, they already got beef on Instagram. And if you got beef on Instagram, you fight for the title. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Whittaker, everything with his daughter, and moving on up. And I just love this fight. This is the fight for me. This is it, guys. Whittaker, Till, winner, I believe, will fight Izzy for the championship. It's a rematch with Whittaker, or it's just a really cool rivalry, smash mouth talking with Till and Izzy for 4 months. Absolutely love it. And also you got Shogun Rue on the card. It's just one of my all-time favorites. And the sleeper of Alexander Gustafsson moving back up, unretiring, and moving up to heavyweight to fight Verdum. It's that's incredible. Guys, don't tell me if Gus doesn't win 2 fights in the heavyweight division, he's not fighting for the title. Don't tell me it's not Gus and Stipe, Gus Francis, or Blades Gus. It's going to happen. He's just a great name, great fighter. Alexander Gustafsson's just right there. And then last, guys, we won't go too far. August 1st, we got Holm and Irene on the main event, and then Brunson and Shabazian and Co. Like I said, that's another one of those middleweights, just 2 studs moving up the ladder. Watch out. That's going to be a really great fight. I'm so happy they get the co-main event. So we got 3 fights in a row, co-main event of Hermanson Gas, main event Whittaker Till, and then back to the co-main event of Brunson Shabazian. So the middleweight division will be that's moving 2 weeks for the middleweight division, and we'll see what happens with Izzy and Costa, and we'll take it from there. But there you go, guys. I just wanted to real quick spit to you real quick. Fight Island and all these fights were announced, and we had a lot of podcasts with Brandon Allen, Soriano. We had Inside the Distance podcast, the betting podcast for us. We got a really cool Bare Knuckles and Brews coming up. And don't forget, Curtis Blades is coming on Monday, the main event of UFC Fight Night. He's coming on Fight Bananas podcast Monday. Make sure you check that out in the morning. Subscribe on all the podcast platforms, or just check it out on YouTube. It's gonna be it's a good listen, I'm telling you. So that's it, guys. Make sure you follow me, David Van Auken, on all my social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just follow me, David Van Auken. Slide in those DMs. They're wide open. Talk to us if there's a topic or there's a fight or anything you want to do. We're here. We are the People's Podcast, man. We appreciate you guys. And just everyone stay safe out there. A lot of really important things are happening right now in the world. Make sure we open our ears. Maybe listen a little bit more than talk. Maybe instead of posting, maybe it's just really reading and listening and just figuring out how we can help. Seems like we're just really divisive right now and really pigeonholed and really kind of locking the doors. Let's open doors. Let's put our arms out. Let's help. A lot of really, really important things are going on right now. So I just want us to be, out there and helping the world. So, Fight Island's real, guys, coming up this month, next month, 4 fights in 2 weeks. Really great time. Really good fights are happening. Jan Aldo, Burns, Usman, Volkanovski versus Holloway, and then make sure the trilogy fight Stipe and DC, and then that Robert Whittaker Darren Till fight will be absolutely bananas.